G'day, Big Bodsta here. Today we're going to be talking about the new weapons added to BattleBit Remastered. We have the Ultimax 100, the new AK-5C, the Scorpion Evo, the MG36, and the absolute wrist destroyer, the RSH-12 sidearm, as well as the path/recommended weapons that I will be most likely using in between my levels. To start off, let's talk about the AK-5C. This is now the last assault rifle that you unlock. Looking at the stats for this gun, it's pretty much the same as the HK419, but actually slightly worse. Seeing that the HK419 is actually unlocked before the AK-5C, I don't know why the stats are slightly worse on this weapon. It sounds cool, looks cool, and for attachment wise, there's not much you can do with it apart from just reduce recoil, I think. At the moment, we'll have to actually use this in game to see how it goes and be able to review it then, but that's going to take a while because it's late on the unlocking. Next up, we have the new carbine, the Scorpion Evo. This thing has the most fire rate in the game and is also a backbreaker. If you hold this gun down firing without stabilizing your recoil, you will aim at the sky. I think this thing will be good for clearing rooms and only close medium range. You won't be able to hit anything medium to long range with this thing. It should be able to shred enemies though, and I'm excited to try it out. Next up we have the MG36, one of the new light machine guns, which is well needed. Essentially this thing is a big G36C. The recoil is pretty manageable. It just seems like an alright all-round LMG. Attachments I'd use at the moment would probably be something like the tactical on the barrel. But once again, it comes down to actually using it in-game and finding out. The MG36 also comes with a different magazine, up to 60 round twin drum mag, which makes for an interesting look, but I will be keen to try this out when I do unlock it. Up next, we have the Ultimax 100. This thing, if you don't miss a shot, you're capable of killing about 20 people if you land the targets, and that's all body shots. This thing has really good recoil control. I think it's probably up there with the best in the LMGs. Fire rate, accuracy, all pretty good. I think this gun might actually be one of the best LMGs in the game. Once again, just have to wait and find out by actually using it in game, but I think this is the gun that I'm most excited to use out of all of the new ones. So expect some gameplay when I eventually reach that level. And last but not least, we have the RSH-12. This pistol's vertical recoil goes off the charts. As well as you can add a long suppressor, making it even worse. This thing pretty much has the exact same stats as the Unica, but with slightly worse stats. Fire rate is slightly slower than the Unica, and the recoil is tremendously worse. You can slap an 8x scope on this thing for some reason, even though the bullet drop off is tremendous. You won't be sniping anyone with this because the damage drop off is insane. I think the only thing you can really do with it is break your wrist and aim at the sky. Or I think the best case scenario is just try and quickscope people with this thing at mid to close range. I think that's probably the only use you'll see out of it. You won't be seeing me use this unless it's for a meme, essentially. I would recommend just using the Unica over that. And now we can move on to talking about the unlock tree, which is pretty rough to say the least. All the good guns are far along the unlock tree and later on. So it's essentially telling us that we can't use our favorite weapons until, we're level 100 or something, which is a real bummer, because it's essentially you've had this toy for a year, you've been playing with it, you love it, and then it gets taken away from you. Which is understandable. We are in early access now, and I believe the people that do have the time will be able to get there pretty quickly. I'll be telling you what guns I'm mainly going to be using in between what levels. To start out, I'll be probably using the M4A1 or the AK. Both are really good weapons, combat scenarios essentially, as well as the MP7 is a pretty decent gun for running around if you do want to sprint. Only downside is that it does have a long reload, so I suggest dumping the mag for that one by holding your reload button. After After that though, your first major unlock will be the AK-15. I do recommend using the AK-15 as it does have 3-shot kill damage potential. So having over the 33 damage per bullet, you're able to drop someone without armor 3 shots. So you'll be winning the gunfight if you're coming up against someone with an M4 just because you'll have a faster time to kill. So I do recommend using the AK-15. The recoil is a bit to control, but I do believe you should be winning more gunfights with that weapon. After that, we're looking around the level 30 mark, which you'll be unlocking the Honey Badger. Decent gun, it's probably about like the B tier weapon. It's not really good or anything, but it's a decent gun. It does have a built-in suppressor, so if you are more of a flanker, then this gun is going to be one that you want to look out for. Then we have the Unica unlocked at level 40. I would recommend using the Unica if you do have precise aim. And then around the 55 mark, you have the Groza. Now the Groza is an S tier weapon with a 3-shot kill, and it is very accurate, very easy to use at base. There's not much to unlock for the weapon as well, so it's going to be good as soon as you get it. I'm expecting myself to use the Groza non-stop when I unlock it. Really good all-round weapon, and I highly recommend. After that, we do have the Chris Vector, which was my favorite gun until recently after the nerfs of it. It's still really good, just not as good. If you prefer to run and gun, the Chris Vector will be high on your priority list at level 70. And then we have something for more of a tactical player that prefers medium to long range engagements, which is the AUG A3. The AUG has to be one of the best long distance assault rifles, being able to equip a medium range scope and actually being able to control the recoil when holding down the trigger. And then we have the other important sidearm at level 80, the Glock. So the Glock and the Unica are my two preferred sidearms. If you are accurate, use the Unica, and if you are not accurate, like me, and prefer spraying the shit out of anyone or just freaking out, I suggest using the Glock. Then at level 90, we have the MP5. The MP5 quickly became one of my favorite guns to run around with after the last buffs to it. I think the best part about it is the quick reload. It's very accurate. It's really just a fun gun to use, to be honest. Now, first, I haven't really mentioned the snipers because I haven't really used, even though I've got over 200 hours of playtesting time, but the M200 is the GOAT sniper rifle. This thing is the best in the class, so I'm probably going to be reluctant to snipe until I'm about that level 100 mark. The M200 is the best sniper rifle, hands down. For sniper players, that's going to be your end goal, and the thing that you aim to achieve is using that gun. Probably the next big kicker after that one will be the P90 at 125. The P90 before early access launched was the meta. This thing has the highest kill game recorded. It's got high magazine, high fire rate, high mobility, quick reload, just really, really good weapon. So that's probably going to be your end game if you're a run gun type playstyle. P90 will be your end game. And right at the end, we have the FAL. This is also up there as being meta. I did a lot of testing with the last changes between all the assault rifles, and the FAL definitely will win gunfights out of pretty much anything else in the game. With its high damage and fire rate in comparison to the other weapons, the FAL should be a winner. So to recap, I'll be using the AK-15, and then onto most likely the Honey Badger. We'll go to the Groza after that for a good solid while. Probably pick up the Chris Vector and use that, as well as the AUG. And then we got the MP5, which is good. And then the M200 for some sniping. And then we get to the fun stuff, being the P90 and the FAL. So these are the guns that you should be looking forward to, as well as the sidearms of the Unica and the Glock. Back to the topic of, I think it is a long unlock cycle. I know the people that have been in all the playtests, if they were given all these good guns like the P90 or the FAL first up, it would impact the play base, because we know what's good compared to all the new players which have come in and don't know what is good. So everyone's been given all the same guns, which is keeping it fair for the launch period, at least until it's all unlocked. Seeing that I don't have much time to actually play myself, seeing that I'll be editing and recording for most of the time, I know that these guns will take a fair while for me to unlock. At least I have had the chance to use them so far, so I'm happy with that. Gee whiz, they're making me work hard for this video. So during the making of this video, they actually put out an update. And as you can see, XP required per rank reduced by half. It's a pretty drastic change, and we'll see how quickly everyone can level up now. That's pretty much it from me. If you guys have any other suggestions or anything else that new players should be looking forward to in this list, let us know in the comments below. I'm keen to hear your thoughts and point out anything that you guys think that I got wrong. I hope this video helps at least someone out. If it does, please give a like. It does help out in the YouTube algorithm a bunch. And hit the subscribe button for more upcoming BattleBit Remastered content from yours truly. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.
With Bodsta.